Los Angeles. Brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live. It's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live
You've been on
from Los Angeles, it's time
4-month vacation.
I got it. What up, my guy?
Oh, you have?
What's up? I'm good. How you?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother? Good, good. Never seen this man look like this ever. Hey,
I wasn't sure.
okay. Okay. I'm just making sure.
I was kidding, man. This is good, right? It is good. Thank you. But only 3 times for you to measure weight. Can I have the one he got? Probably. He gave me $50. He said probably.
$50.
Come on in. All right, let's set it up real quick, and then we'll go to the stage. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. We're live, we're mobile, it's fun. Let's go to the ring. Our boy Ray Flores is doing the official introductions, and then we'll come back to us. Go ahead.
Championship fights on our pay-per-view that comes away at 8 Eastern, 5 local time.
Set all this to the side.
The WBA Rolando Romero will defend his championship against the world title contender from Mexico, the always entertaining Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Also, we have Cuban star Erislandy, the American Dream Lara, defending his WBA middleweight world championship against Australia's Michael Zerafa. And to begin the pay-per-view, WBC flyweight world champion Julio Cesar Martinez will defend his title against the unbeaten Angelino Cordova in a pay-per-view opener. PBC on Prime Video action will proceed the pay-per-view and it'll stream live and for free beginning at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. Rising on the middleweight, Elijah Garcia will take on veteran contender Tyron Davis in our main event. Super welterweight contenders in Sergey Boychuk and Brian Mendoza will collide. That'll be for the interim WBC Super welterweight title. That'll open up the stream. The event comes to a compliments and promoted by TPWP Promotions. The main event is promoted in association with No Limit Boxing. Tickets for the live event are available at AXS.com. Many of you are here for vacation, conventions, whatever the case may be. Nothing like watching PBC action at T-Mobile Arena as the action begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time with our main card 2 hours before that, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. Our streaming fights come your way with 2 outstanding matchups. But right now, we want to bring into Las Vegas this man, 18 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 12 wins coming by way of knockout, 28 years of age, from Ciudad Bolivar, Venezuela, training out of Roselle Park, New Jersey. The experienced amateur who debuted back in 2017 and had a marvelous win in his last outing as he toppled former world champion Angel Acosta. Ladies and gentlemen, he looks to become a world champion on Saturday night. Here is Angelino Cordova.
Oh,
got Cordova getting in the ring. We're live right here at the media workout. Kind of
5,000. 5,000.
All right, ladies and
shout out to
gentlemen,
Marcos
we have Angelino
checking out the new equipment. It's real. I don't know how it's going to right now, but it is.
Angelino Cordova matches up against Julio Cesar Martinez for the WBC Flyweight World Championship. Angelino, what does this experience mean here in Las Vegas, getting ready to compete and challenge for world title? What emotions are you feeling?
¿Cómo te has sentido viniendo acá a Las Vegas para este gran fin de semana de Vegas para vos?
I think that back was the mistake. We're trying to keep this clear because the fighters are coming in and out. We gotta keep it clear. That angle will all go
I'm so excited. I'm glad to be here. And more than anything, I'm thankful with this beautiful crowd, with boxing fans around the world. And I'm so excited to show you what I can do on Saturday night.
Now, in your opinion, where do you feel like you have the edge over your opponent in Julio Cesar Martinez?
¿Dónde dirías que está tu ventaja contra Martínez?
Pues yo vine a pelear y a ser mejor. Vine a buscar el título de vine a pelear y vine a todo.
I just came here to fight. I came here to obtain a world title. I came here to give my all. That's what I can tell you, and that's what I'm going to do.
When people tune in on Saturday around the world on Prime Video, PBC pay-per-view, what are they going to witness as you collide against Julio Cesar Martinez?
Brenagh, how you doing? Brenagh, where you been? Traveling the world?
Pero el público que esté muy pendiente, que el ring nuevamente echará chispa el día sábado 30 de marzo del 2024 aquí en Las Vegas, Nevada. Así que muy pendiente.
You're going to see sparks fly on March 30th here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be a canvas fight, and you're going to be there to witness it, I guarantee it.
What is the response been from your fellow countrymen? I'm sure they're going to be watching on Saturday. And how important is it for you to become a world champion and take your title back to your homeland?
¿Qué tan importante será para hacer a tus compatriotas llevarse el campeonato mundial a tu país este sábado?
Será algo, primero que nada, histórico y primeramente Dios será así.
It's going to be a historic night, and God willing, I'm going to make it happen.
Fighters of Mexican Julio Cesar Martinez, including being one of them, are very aggressive, love to mix it up and go toe-to-toe. Do you like the fact that it probably isn't going to be that difficult to find this guy, and you guys are going to go toe-to-toe and really, more than likely, provide a war?
Me gusta que no va a ser difícil encontrar a Martínez, lo más probable es que sea una guerra mano a mano. ¿Te gusta ese tipo de enfrentamiento, esa estrategia?
Sí, me gusta eso. Y sé que va a ser una guerra total y por eso estoy muy emocionado. Por eso estoy tan invitado a ver esa guerra. No se la pueden perder.
I'm so excited to do that, to witness that war, and to be able to do what I came here to do, which is leave the fans what they want. And all that war that you're not going to want to miss.
Finally, what do you want to tell all the fans here in Las Vegas and around the world?
¿Qué te gustaría decir a la gente acá en Las Vegas y alrededor del mundo?
Que sigan luchando, que los sueños sí se pueden y Dios me lo bendiga.
Keep fighting because dreams can come true, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angelino Cordova. He's going to work out for all of you here in Las Vegas. We have Angelino Cordova, undefeated from Venezuela, looking to take his world championship back home to his homeland as he takes on Julio Cesar Martinez, who will be defending his WBC Flyweight World Championship as Julio Cesar Martinez from Mexico taking on this man in Angelino Cordova. Saturday night event promoted by TPWP Promotions. The main event is promoted in association with No Limit 5. the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. to become the world champion. This will begin now, pay-per-view. It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Coming up on Saturday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Let's give a round of applause to Angelino Cordova. All right, so we're going to allow Angelino Cordova to go ahead and depart the ring. You can go and make his way out to Zerafa. Michael, it's great to see you. Talk about a moment for you and for Australian boxing. I mentioned not Tszyu, but you were the second fight in the pay-per-view. You look to become a world champion. First of all, for you personally, what does this moment mean?
This means that this fight's 13 months overdue. It should happen last year, but we're here now, and I want to bring back that world title. This is my absolute life, and this is more than a fight for me.
Why do you say that it's more than a fight for you?
This fight's dedicated to my sister.
She's fighting her own fight at the moment. You know, she's suffering with breast cancer, and this fight's for her. She's in her own fight for her life, so Lara is nothing compared to that.
What has your training camp been like? I mean, has it been, because it has been a bit anticipated for a while, how have you been able to make sure that you don't peak too early and you're hitting stride at the right time?
I've been lucky enough to have Rachel and Nonito Donaire, in my corner, huge artillery going into this fight. They've kept me sane and kept me exactly where I need to be and pushing the paces, and no stone's been left unturned. We're here now, we've travelled to the other side of the world, not to be an opponent, we're here to take what's rightfully mine.
Look at the shoes.
For Australian boxing in total, you and Tszyu competing on the same card, both of you guys can put and really get on the plane going back to Australia as world champions. What would that mean to you?
Yeah, it means huge for Australian boxing. You got Liam Wilson fighting the night before us. 3 Aussies trying to bring home belts. Usually me and Tszyu are against each other, but come Saturday night, I'm in his corner, and I hope he wins. And hopefully he's in my corner the same night. But it's going to be huge for Australian boxing.
Erislandy Lara has been around for a long time. We know his accomplishments, a lengthy pedigree from the amateurs, having been a successful pro for a long time. What are you expecting out of the man known as the American Dream?
Yeah, look, I'm a huge fan of Lara. Even prior to us becoming opponents, I know he's a great mover, but he's getting on. I truly believe he's held the belt for way too long. He's just looking for a payday with Danny Garcia or one of those guys. I'm there to upset the plan and take, like I said, what's rightfully mine. This fight should have happened 13 months ago. I know it's going to be a hard fight, and like I said, I'm prepared for 12 rounds. I'm prepared for 15 rounds if it was, but 12 rounds, so be it.
Could it be a possibility that he has floated the names out like Danny Garcia, that he could be overlooking you? I mean, is that, even entered into your thought process?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Jeff Horn did the same thing. Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, then took me as a light fight, and I ended up knocking him out. So, I think he's doing the same thing. He's already looking past me, and that's a huge mistake. It's huge confidence in my corner.
Have you thought about when you make that ring walk here at T-Mobile Arena? I know that there are going to be a lot of Australians here, probably more than what typically we've seen in recent memory, the kind of emotions that you'll feel like walking to the ring, or is it something to where you're just focused on the task at hand?
I'm fully focused. I mean, I've been here before. I've been there when I fought Cal Brook, Peter Quillen. This is just another night for me, and the crowd, the people, I'm grateful to be fighting at such a huge stadium in front of all you people. And I thank you all the love and support, but for me, I'm fully focused on the task ahead.
Well, Michael, we appreciate the time we'll allow you to work out for all the fans. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause from Melbourne, Australia, Michael Zerafa. Also, we got the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire, in the house.
My man's Zerafa up there name dropping. Said he's been in the ring with Kell Brook and Peter. I'm a king of all trades, Got a loss.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Oh, okay.
We can't get kicked off this bad
We
boy.
ain't trying to get kicked off. So we got
how would you beat Erislandy Lara?
Oh,
Erislandy Lara.
I think pressure all night. Bring pressure all night. He's a technician. You don't let him get comfortable. You stay on top of him. Don't give him a chance to think. That's how you beat Erislandy Lara. That's why he's undefeated, because he hasn't fought. No, he's not undefeated. He lost to Canelo.
He's got a couple losses.
Yeah, but that's why he dang near undefeated.
Yeah.
So
dang near.
Dang near.
He said dang near.
Great boxer, has been his whole career. It's time to get up there with somebody. This guy's coming to challenge him. I think this could be a good fight, Sean.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Lara in a long time.
We were waiting on Lara versus Danny Smith Garcia.
Great fight.
Still haven't gotten that. Danny's been out of the ring for a good 2.5 years now. So.
And Lara's, I feel like he had the belt since you had your first belt.
Now he's moved up to 160 now.
Yeah, 160.
And he's got the 160 belt now. I think, but he has had that belt for
Long
at least 2
time.
years. At least, yeah.
I hate how sometimes the belt system is. Like one guy will get stripped 2 months later, and another guy can hold on to a belt for years.
Yeah.
And barely be active. So
part of the game.
Yeah, it's the business of boxing. BS of boxing. Gotta love it.
We got Mr. Nonito Donaire.
Nonito Donaire in the building.
In the corner.
The legend.
Of Zerafa.
I'm not sure if he's hanging up the gloves yet, but he's still around boxing.
For the WBC, the second fight on our PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Michael Zerafa looking to go ahead and become a world champion and set the tone for what the entire country of Australia hopes to be a historic night for Australian boxing. Michael, real quick before we get ready to let you go, what do you want to tell the fans out here, but for specifically the Australian fight fans that are watching? I know that they're going to be very much tuned in, watching you both go and see if you can make these dreams become a reality.
Look, I just want to firstly say thanks to everyone that's come out today to support the event. Thank God for giving me the opportunity, and for everyone that's shown their love and support. It means so much. I wouldn't be here today without all that. Without you guys, there's no me. And I truly feeling the love. And God bless you all, and thank you so much. And hopefully, I make you all proud. Win, lose or draw, like I said, I'm out there giving it my absolute all. And we want to hear in the new, and we will.
What about fighting here in Las Vegas, the fighting capital of the world?
This is huge. This is a dream come true. I told my family when I was a little kid that one day I'll fight here and for a world title, and we're 3 days out. So again, I'm counting my blessings, and I thank God and thank you all. Thank you very much.
Michael Zerafa, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him. That'll be the second fight on our pay-per-view. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time is when we get rolling. As Saturday night will no doubt, you can expect a battle between Michael Zerafa and Erislandy Lara. And coming up, we will go back to our pay-per-view opener as we will talk with the WBC Flyweight World Champion. 4 World Championship fights on our pay-per-view. Again, just an absolutely stacked night of boxing, and also 2 fights before we go live on pay-per-view. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to our pay-per-view opener as we have a very proud world champion. He is the reigning WBC Flyweight World Champion, looking to make his 6th defense coming up on a Saturday. Trained by the renowned Eddie Reynoso, captured his world title back in 2019 with a 9th round stoppage over Christopher Rosales. His record 20 wins, 15 of those coming by way of knockout against just 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the defending world champion from Mexico, Julio Cesar Martinez.
Mesa que más aplauda, mesa que más aplauda, mesa que más aplauda, le manda.
This the guy I was telling you
Oh,
about, right?
okay.
This the guy I was telling you about.
Oh, so no, he's the champ.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my
when
bad.
you said the other guy was a child, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Julio Cesar Martinez will take on Angelino Cordova.
Little shorter.
Okay.
Pause for Julio Cesar.
Means nothing.
Clean, though.
We'll have
Means nothing
Martin
in the sport of
Butter
boxing.
translate for
Height
us.
means nothing in the sport of boxing.
What?
Julio Cesar being
I know
here
that.
in
What
Las
about the
Vegas
boots,
on a card like this. It is BBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. How excited are you for Saturday?
¿Qué tan entusiasmado estás para el sábado? Una cartelera pay-per-view por Prime. ¿Qué significa esto para vos?
Pues muy contento, la verdad emocionado de volver a regresar aquí a Las Vegas, contento de volverme a subir al ring y pues más que nada ansioso por ya estar arriba.
I'm so happy to be back here in Vegas, to be back inside the ring, and I'm eager to show you guys what I'm capable of inside the ring. I am really excited for it all.
How would you assess your opponent, the undefeated Angelino Cordova?
¿Qué opinas de tu oponente, Angelino Cordova?
Pues es un buen oponente, va invicto, se mueve bien, venimos preparados para lo que sea, para el choque o la larga distancia, pero pues como siempre, ¿no? Con todo menos con miedo.
You know, he's someone that's agile, that knows how to move, so we're ready for anything. We can go toe-to-toe in an all-out war. We can also fight tactically and with the reach. But you know what? We're going to come after it all with everything but with fear.
Because he is a mover, I assume that you plan on cutting off the ring and trying to make it difficult for him to be able to get around as easy?
Me imagino que, como vos dijiste, como se mueve, le vas a intentar recortar el ring e intentar que no le sea tan fácil moverse dentro del cuadrilátero.
Así es, vamos a ir ahora sí que a presionarlo, venimos con todo, venimos bien preparados, motivados para regresar con todo este 30 de marzo.
Absolutely, we're going to come after him, we're going to pressure him, and we're going to make sure that he feels us and that he knows we're the champs of March 30th.
Do you feel that you have the ability to go ahead, not only beat him, but possibly stop him?
¿Sentís que tenés la capacidad de no solo derrotarlo, sino que también de noquearlo?
Venimos bien preparados, venimos para lo que sea, así es, como siempre lo he dicho, estamos aquí por algo y venimos a hacer aquí historia y vamos por los 4 cinturones.
Absolutely, I'm ready for anything. Like I said before, I'm here to make history. And not only that, this is the beginning of the path to go after all 4 belts. I want to be undisputed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll allow Julio Cesar Martinez to work out. A round of applause for the champion from Mexico. It is Julio Cesar Martinez.
Shawn played me, and let me think the other guy was a champion.
No, I didn't play.
Yeah, you played.
You thought you knew what you thought you knew.
I thought I heard what I thought I heard, and I heard what I didn't hear.
You should have been listening better.
Okay.
This is the champion. Just in the ring a couple months ago, too, and just an absolute banger.
Electric.
Yeah, fun fighter to watch. He stay busy, and it ain't too many that can stand up to that, you know.
A lot of pounding. What weight class?
Great question. 115 maybe? 114 maybe?
Oh man, he would have stopped you when you were 5. 5th grade. When would you want? When would you want?
6th grade. Yeah.
So you were 6. Okay.
5th grade, baby.
Yeah. No.
You don't know me.
No, because I was
You don't know me.
Oh yeah, you little. Yeah, you probably made that.
When I was 14, I fought at 125. So I had to be 12 or 13.
Man, that's crazy. What was your biggest jump? Like when you went, it was like 150. Oh, I got to do this.
So the weight classes go 106 back in the day. 106, 112, 119, 125. I practically skipped 119, and I wasn't at 112 for very long. So that really was the only jump I ever had. 112, 125.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about the ropes, bro. Nothing about the ropes, bro.
Oh man, I can't wait till your son be bigger than you.
Yeah, they both tell me all the time I'm gonna be bigger than you.
Especially the big one.
Yeah.
The oldest one. He got his mama size. Shout out to his mama, because you ain't helped on none of that height.
That's not true. That's not true. I got height in my family. It just
no.
You know how it go.
No, that ain't how it go. Name somebody tall in your family.
My mama's side.
Your brother's tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenny's tall.
Exactly.
He will take on Angelino Cordova. Julio Cesar Martinez, known as El Rey from Mexico. He mentioned that he wants to be undisputed world champion in the flyweight division, as he'll put his skills to the test against Angelino Cordova at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. One more round of applause for the WBC flyweight world champion and Julio Cesar Martinez.
Yeah, fly hat.
And he will absolutely look forward to putting on a dazzling display against Angelino Cordova and potentially hand him the first loss of his career. And one thing about it, the lighter weight classes are so exciting and no doubt explosive. I know a lot of fans want to
Can you turn him down,
Julio
turn me up?
Cesar Martinez take photos with him.
Perfect. Yeah, so real quick, Charles Baker, appreciate the super chat. We will both be in Houston next week.
Yes.
Red Eye Boxing down there in Houston. Check them out. Get tickets. Y'all gonna be there. When I see y'all, holla at me. It's Charles Baker. I'll be like, okay, cool. You said you was gonna get us autographs. I'll be like, got some paper, got a pen, got a marker. So holla at me when we down there, man. I'm looking forward to getting down there. I'll see y'all soon. Yeah, that's right, Hafey.
Hey, 5,000. You need one of those? 5,000. Okay? This is the other guy that controls the behind the scenes in the day-to-day.
Yeah, you look all the way stressed.
Yeah. Shout out to Brian Hafey. But yeah, we definitely will be in Houston next week. Hey, as soon as we get to Houston, I don't want to say what's going on.
Shoot some questions, whatever you guys got. We'll be answering them. As you guys can see, it's kind of busy in the ring, but we're trying to kind of fill in when they're not busy in the ring. I'm gonna try to get Nonito Donaire over here and try to get some guys on the show before we get out of here.
Forget all that boxing talk. Hey, we coming to Houston next week. Where should we go? People said I gotta go to Turkey Leg Hut. Papa Do's.
Be specific. Where should he go to eat?
Sean's coming with
He
me.
ain't trying to do nothing else but eat. No, because he's like, oh yeah, pop up on us. We da-da-da-da-da. We not doing all that. Tell him where to go eat at, and I may or may not.
Sean will be
More
with
likely,
me.
maybe
Sean will
not.
be with me. Somebody got to pay the bill. So Sean will be with me. And if you get out of hand, DDA will be with me. He's a ninja. Okay? Don't you know karate or something?
I think he took karate.
You took karate or you wrestled? You wrestled or you took karate? Okay. But yeah, no, it's exciting weekend. Good to have boxing back in Vegas.
So the winner of not just one belt, but 2 world championships, and for Australia, talk about the fact that if Michael Zerafa can upend Erislandy Lara, and if Tszyu can be victorious, 2 world champions will be making their way from Las Vegas to Australia as going ahead, and they realize lifelong dreams. What a moment that would be for Australian boxing. But as I mentioned, an absolutely stacked night of boxing. But right now, for those of you watching the stream, we want to go ahead and take an introspective look at our Gloves Off series, featuring none other than the always unique personality of Rolando Romero.
Doing this? He talking to Sean Zartel. Oh, okay. He's getting a guess.
I'm not really a villain. I'm more of an anti-hero. A villain is doing evil things. Anti-hero, he's doing things for what's the best, right? Yeah, I'm not a villain. They just don't understand me.
Yeah.
Push that condition to another level, man. 3, 2, 1. Let's go right now. Attack it.
Rolly Romero understands perception shapes reality. His flamboyant and boisterous persona has caught attention and opened doors, but is yet to fully yield the respect he desires. With Romero, words are prelude, hype, sell. But the ring, that's his arena of truth. Whether on a blockbuster stage or winning his first world title, he aims to show the world that the super lightweight champion is more than just his persona. A persona, by the way, that hides a deeper narrative.
You know, as a kid, I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't really have no friends. I really couldn't speak until I was about 11 or so, you know. It sounded like I was speaking gibberish, you know. I think that's the reason why I enjoy every moment as much as I do now. Because I never had any of this growing up. The fact that I have the impact I do on the world, that's enough to make me happy, you know, to give me genuine joy.
Hips up a little bit. Good.
I started boxing so late, I had to play catch up with everybody. All the top fighters around my age group, every single one of them has 200-300 fights, right? And you get me, 16 fights that I became world champion twice, so. I always fight the most difficult fights. I don't decline a fight. Pitbull Cruz is a tremendous fighter, but I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. He's gonna come forward and try to beat the fuck out of me, and I don't really care whether people think I'm gonna beat him or not. I just know I'm gonna knock him out. You'll see. March 30th.
He gets set to take on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Rolando Romero, not shy whatsoever, has a lot of self-belief, and he will be defending his WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He even went as far as to say, I'm going to stop him. Isaac Cruz is very durable, very determined, and does not make it easy on his adversaries. But it would be a statement win if Romero can upend and halt Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Another thing that I'm looking at when it comes to this particular fight, this is the co-main event of PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, is the size. Isaac Cruz is coming up from 135 to 140. Rolando Romero, there's been talk about him potentially moving up to even 147. So what will the size difference be? I saw a mention on X about how Isaac Pitbull Cruz, I saw his physique, and he looks in the best shape we've ever seen him. So I'm curious to see if Isaac Cruz is going to try to test the conditioning of Rolando Romero. A couple of items just when it comes to a size standpoint. How much bigger is Romero going to be than that of Isaac Cruz? And because Romero's even discussing, or it's even being floated around, that he might go up to 147, will that hurt him when it comes to the later rounds if it gets to that far? Will Isaac Cruz try to set forth a frenetic pace that will make it very difficult for Rolando Romero to keep up with him? And also, when you are a guy like Isaac Cruz and you're throwing punches in bunches, you leave yourself susceptible to be countered. Can Romero counter him and land something big? Plus, it's a new weight class for Isaac Cruz. How will he handle fighting bigger, stronger guys in Rolando Romero? We've seen Isaac Cruz in there against Gervonta Tank Davis. That was a couple of years ago at what is now Crypto.com Arena. He took Gervonta Davis to the distance, so it is clear that Isaac Cruz can handle big punchers. But this is 5 pounds north here at 140 pounds. All of these questions are going to be answered on Saturday. It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Our main event, Tszyu from Australia defending his WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World against the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. This is a point I'm going to get into a little bit later on over the course of the grand arrivals and the workouts, but it is a 9-inch height advantage for the challenger, Sebastian Fundora. It is the biggest difference in height in a non-heavyweight matchup. So, my goodness, how will Tszyu deal with the height disparity that he's going to encounter on Saturday? Tszyu comes from boxing greatness in Tszyu, and now will be headlining for the first time. As a prize fighter, your goal always is to headline here in the fighting capital of the world. No matter what, as a prize fighter in combat sports, the goal is to make it here to Las Vegas. Tszyu had blockbuster events last year in Australia, but his focus has always been to get here to Las Vegas. Now he's here, and now he literally and figuratively has a tall task ahead of him in the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. Fundora gets the opportunity, was supposed to fight Sergey Bogachuk, but Keith Thurman unable to compete on Saturday. That was the original assignment for Tszyu. So how is Tszyu going to handle with a change in opponent? How will Sebastian Fundora handle the change in opponent rather than fighting Sergey Bogachuk? Speaking of Bogachuk, he will take on Brian Mendoza, a previous Tszyu adversary that'll kick off the PBC on Prime video stream that occurs at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. So, for those watching on the stream, you saw an in-depth look at Rolando Romero. Now, let's get an examination at the man known as Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
Mi esposa es una pieza muy clave en mi vida. Aunque yo me enojo, pues cada día a las 4 de la mañana
1, go. We're live. Nonito. Oh, wow. Nonito, here we go. I mean, I see you in the ring, and I see the hat. You coach mode now.
That's right, man. That's right.
Is it just for now?
Nah, you know what? I love what I do. You know, I'm really smart when it comes down to training. I've always been smart in boxing. But the way that I've always done it is I've always been able to articulate the moves, the why of why you're throwing the punches, you know. So for me, it was something that was just a no-brainer for me. And I'm like, you know what, I enjoy what I'm doing. And you watch Saturday, I'm going to have me a new champion, my first champion.
Are you training too? Or are you training yourself?
I'm always training, baby. Yeah. I'm always training. You know, one thing that I'm always going to be is like when I wake up in the morning and I feel like I still got to be in that gym and I'm still eager to do it, I'm going to do it, man. So I feel that I'm still reaching out to everybody. You know, Takuma Inoue's brother, Takuma. I'm trying to get his belt. Jason Maloney, Emmanuel Green. Hey, every man has to have a purpose, brother.
Yes,
my purpose is try to become undisputed and be the best of my ability that God has given me.
Is this the very first fighter you've had as a professional?
I've had a couple fighters, you know, but this is the first time that I'm fighting for a title.
Yeah,
well, not me, but my fighter fighting title.
Fighter.
Yes, sir.
Would you say this is a new love? Is this something that was always this destiny for you as well?
For me, I think it was always destiny, but to me, it felt like it's a contribution. You know, contribution to give my knowledge to the people, and I think that gives me a lot of heart, a lot of things within me that makes me proud to do what I do, and I love it. You know, I love fighting in the ring, but this is a different love for me in giving. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. Yeah. Especially when we get that title.
So talk about Zerafa. A lot of us don't know, you know, his Australian pedigree. So kind of give us a little bit on Zerafa.
So I think about Australian fighters, you know, they lack the knowledge when it comes down to big fights. But the thing is, with him, I realized after working with him for 2 months, he is talented. Everything that I told him, his body just got it. You know, he was able to understand it. He was able to do what I'm telling him to do. And he works hard, you know, and to me it was like, man, this dude can make it. He can make it, you know, so I know he's capable, but his heart is all in it, you know. He's like one of those Mexican fighters, man. They just want to fight.
Did he find you or did you find him? How this marriage work out?
So the WBA convention 2 years ago, we met. He was a nice guy, you know, and then this last convention I went as well, and he was there as well.
Yeah.
And we just connected, and you know what? I like good people, you know. So I said, hey, whatever you need from me, if I can help you with anything, just let me know. And then I got a call after that. Like, hey, maybe you can help me out with something. You know, if you wanna come out here, and you know, I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a big opportunity for me. But for me, mainly, it was like, this kid is a good person.
Yeah,
I like that. That to me is more to me than anything.
Absolutely. So you expect a lot of coaches to be studious, know everything about the opponent, know everything you need to do to beat the opponent. As a fighter, were you studious, or were you just kind of like, I'm focusing on myself, can't nobody beat me? And then the transition.
At my best, I was very meticulous. I was always studying.
Yeah.
I gotta know everything, the way they move, the way they have a twitch or whatever it may be, right? I know exactly when it comes down to that. Yeah. And then at the end of it, it's just like, you know what, whatever. I know what I'm capable of. I'm just go out there and spar.
Yeah.
You know?
So then now, as a coach,
I gotta bring it back.
Yeah.
And so I started bringing it back, and I started training them the way that I did it back in the day.
Very good. And then of course you got Lara across the ring from you. Kind of talk to us about that beast and how it is getting prepared. Obviously, you won't know until the fist fight, but how is it getting prepared for Lara?
You know, I train a lot of people how to be mentally strong. Physical is always given to every fighter, but the mind is always going to be as good, or the body is always going to be as good as the mind is, right? So I train them to be strong mentally. No matter what it is, you're going to give it. No matter what it is, you ain't going to stop. You're going to keep going. No matter when it hurts, that's where you push harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I did with them. And to me, every man has a weakness, and I think that we have that weakness in hand in our training. And if it doesn't, we got every other way to find another weakness.
What do you think the weakness is in Lara?
Well, the thing is, he's one thing is, as I'm older than him, or we're about the same age, and our mind is in this focus. We're just gonna go out there. We're gonna try to land the big punch. We're gonna take shortcuts. Yeah. Whether they take shortcut or not, to me, it's like I know what the mindset is.
Yeah.
And so for me, I know exactly how it is mentally being there for such a long time, and especially not being there for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that I know. Pop, 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 pop. Everywhere you go, I'm gonna be in your face. If I don't, I'm gonna make them box. I'm gonna do any kind of style that we see that we can take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that made me think of Floyd Mayweather. Somebody who we know everything that Floyd has done, amateur and pro, and to get to the height that he had got, but to stay there mentally, to be so focused. I think that speaks to the greatness of Floyd Mayweather when you're talking about,
100%.
hey, when we get older, we take another step and we start trying to figure out ways to cut corners.
That's right.
You know?
That's what they
So-
say, right? You got to train smarter and all that stuff. But sometimes, you know, with Floyd, he did train smarter, but he trained hard. And he was disciplined.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, when it comes, last thing, and I'll let you go. I know you got to get out of here. Lara, nobody expects Zerafa, Australian. We don't know you. It's a surprise.
That's all right.
If he beats Lara.
That's all right.
How do we get a surprise? What's the surprise? How do we get it?
The thing is, again, I told him, every time you go in that ring, you're the king of the ring. Don't ever take that away from you. Don't ever let anybody else, that because he holds the belt doesn't mean that he's the king of the ring. This is your territory. You're going to show the world, you're going to show him that this belongs to you. And with that mindset, you're just going to let your hands go. You don't need to think. You don't need to think. You just got to do what you did in training. You know, and how he's going to be surprised is they're going to show, he's going to show his power, his strength, and his tenacity to take away the old lion. It's time for the change.
And in order for him to win, does he have to knock out Lara?
I don't think so. The way we train, it eventually will happen.
Yeah.
Or it'll be a landslide.
Right.
At least that's me as a trainer.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm confident.
I was gonna say that's one thing I know you got as a trainer. You can talk your ass.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Nonito.
Always, brother. Always.
Yes, sir. Right there, you have it. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard everything.
All right, you heard it all, right? All right. Why you ain't say nothing to him?
Because I was holding the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mic.
Listen, man, he get you. Nonito will get you hype. I don't care what's going on. Could be at a country concert. He gonna get you hype. Just okay? No. Yeah, but I'm saying like you still ain't believing in Zerafa.
It's a tough out, man.
Yeah, I know.
We got a great corner, though. I give him that.
Yeah.
We got about another 2 minutes for me, and then I believe in starting something and finishing it. So today is my son's last day of swimming, and I'm about to get out of here.
Last day of school?
Swimming.
Oh, last day of swimming. Oh, okay. You believe? So you say you believe in finishing stuff?
I got a text. Should we just skip today? No.
No.
Start something we finish.
Absolutely. Get to it.
She never got into it.
Hey, listen, when Antt fades to black, he actually left. Okay?
What happened? What? I don't know. Shawn gonna have to hold it down while I'm gone.
I'll hold it down.
You've done this a time.
I'll make it happen.
Seguir buscando nuevas metas.
No, la motivación primero que todo está en el ring, ¿no? En el cuadrilátero y en el entrenamiento. Creo que a mi edad he estado bien y me siento físicamente bien y mentalmente bien para tener la victoria ahora el 30 de mayo.
The motivation comes from the day to day, from the training, from wanting to get better each and every day. And I can guarantee you that at my age, like you said, I feel in tip-top shape, both physically and mentally. I'm ready to go.
Have you thought about how much longer you want to continue to fight? I mean, because, we see you're in outstanding physical shape. It appears that, you still have this strong desire to compete at this high level. But have you thought about how long you want to go?
Bueno, se nota que estás en gran forma física, que tenés ese fuego sagrado, esa motivación, pero ¿has pensado en cuánto tiempo más querés pelear?
Bueno, todavía no he pensado en eso, ¿no? Estamos activos todavía, estamos bien, nos sentimos bien. Vamos a esperar los próximos años que vienen a ver qué pasa, pero de momento no tengo pensado todavía ya el retiro.
I'm taking things year by year. Let's see what happens next year too. But I'm focused on the moment. I'm focused on this Saturday and on winning this fight, taking things step by step.
What are you hoping to demonstrate on Saturday against Michael Zerafa?
¿Qué esperas poder demostrar este sábado contra Michael Zerafa?
Bueno, lo lo mejor de mí, ¿no? Lo que siempre he hecho en cada pelea que me he presentado, he dado lo mejor de mí y salí victorioso ese día.
I'm just gonna tell you that I'm gonna give the best of me, and I hope to come out with the win on Saturday. That's all I can do, and that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the WBA middleweight champion of the world, Erislandy, the American Dream Lara. Round of applause for the Las Vegas resident, originally from Cuba. He's going to work out here in Las Vegas, here at the MGM Grand, ahead of his matchup at T-Mobile Arena on a Saturday. We have Erislandy Lara working out for all the fans here and also those watching on the PBC YouTube page this Saturday. It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. That's a part of our loaded night of boxing. 4 World Championship fights on the pay-per-view, including the WBA middleweight champion of the world, Erislandy Lara, defending his crown against Australia's Melbourne's Michael Zerafa. Erislandy Lara working out here in Las Vegas. And we appreciate Erislandy Lara working out for all of you. He can go ahead and depart. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest that I think is one of the brightest minds analytically in the sport, a man who has, I mean, what an outstanding career that he had. I know that one day he will be enshrined into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, a man who has gone ahead and has went in there and fought the likes of Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, beat Adrian Broner, also Adrian Granados as well. Anytime this man was in a matchup, he always gave you your money's worth and then some. Residing in Las Vegas, you can listen to him on his outstanding podcast, the PorterWay Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former welterweight champion of the world, Showtime, Shawn Porter. What's up, Shawn? I know you're doing double duty with your podcast, but also it's great to see you and talk with you. A new day is dawning when it comes to boxing with PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora. You know, Keith Thurman, a man that you know quite well. He got injured. Now replace him with Sebastian Fundora. Your thoughts on this main event?
I'll tell you what, my colleague, the PorterWay Podcast, Antt, he got more excited when he saw the switch and it became Sebastian Fundora. I think from a stylistic standpoint, we could have a slightly more exciting fight. I think the fight with Keith Thurman was very intriguing. Obviously, I was on record for thinking that Keith was going to win that fight. I think we know like truly where his health is in terms of his physical abilities now. But you know, we got Sebastian Fundora, a guy that's tall, very capable of dethroning Tszyu and taking him off this hot win streak that he's been on. So I think the main event is just as exciting, maybe even more exciting than the original. And looking forward to boxing on Prime. I think this is prime time, man. It's time for something big, and I think Prime is the next best thing.
Is it crazy to think that this is going to be the largest height disparity in a non-heavyweight matchup? I mean, 9 inches that Tszyu is going to be giving up to his opponent in Sebastian Fundora.
All respect, but I did that in my sleep. I've fought at these kind of deficits for a long time, so it's easy for me to see where Tszyu can have success, can possibly KO Fundora, but also where I can see him having some struggles. I think one thing we know about Fundora is he's kind of right there in your face. So for Tim, it's always about getting past those first couple of punches. Fundora more than likely is going to be first the entirety of the fight. So I think we're going to have to see something new for Tim. How explosive can he be as a counterpuncher? How explosive can he be slipping and coming in and the leaving shots and then returning his own? So again, I mean, when you talk about the style matchup here and you talk about how exciting and how action-packed this main event is going to be, it's bar none at this point.
Is it going to be one of those things for Sebastian Fundora that he has to be disciplined and utilize that height, that reach advantage? We know he likes to mix it up. But in a fight like this, with not just one world title, but 2 world titles on the line, that he must remain disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Fundora, what have you done for me lately? Well, I got knocked out lately, you know, so everybody's looking at how is he going to come back from the Brian Mendoza knockout? Is he still healthy? Is he still fresh? You know, what changes is he going to make in his game now? To his credit, he was winning that fight until he got stopped, until the knockdown. And so the thing is really like not so much what do I change, but how do I become, to your point, more disciplined in certain areas. And I think really the only thing that Sebastian, and for me, I think needs to change in his game is he needs a little bit better defense. You know, the chin cannot be up in the air after you throw your shots, you know, and you have to have better ways of escaping opposed to just moving straight back and then moving laterally, you know what I mean? So I think that this has the makings to be a really exciting fight, and I think it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you. I think at the end of the day, I'm looking at Tszyu pulling it off, but it's 50-50.
Well, from 154 to 140, Rolando Romero defending his WBA Super Lightweight Championship against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. This one very well could steal the show, but I think a couple questions coming into this matchup. For Romero, how much bigger is he going to be than that of Isaac Cruz?
He's going to be bigger. Rolly is someone who did not shy away from eating food when he wasn't in training camp, but the thing I've seen from Rolly is he's got a lot of mass, got a lot of muscle, you know, so cutting into that muscle to get to 135, you're no longer cutting into that muscle, which means you're going to be stronger. You're even mentally going to be stronger because you feel fresher mentally. I have extra 5 pounds now, you know, so I think overall he's just going to be the bigger, stronger guy on fight night. Pitbull, not a very tall kid. He's got, you know, some mass of his own as well. Punches with a lot of power. So, yeah, I do think that the co-main is going to steal the show until something crazy happens in the main event.
Well, the social media standpoint, there's a photo floating around of Isaac Cruz, and he looks in the best shape that we've ever seen him. So on that sort of thought process, it could appear that Isaac Cruz is going to try to set forth a frenetic pace and keep it on Romero throughout the entirety of the 12 rounds if it goes the distance.
Probably the hardest fight to predict in terms of how the outcome is going to be, but the easiest fight to predict in terms of how Isaac Cruz is going to come all night. He's coming right after Rolly. I mean, corner to corner, rope to rope, and Rolly's really going to have to keep him off with the jab and then show that power that he's shown in the past. You know, I think there's something we always say in boxing, the power is the last thing to go. So it doesn't matter what you've been through in the ring, it doesn't matter who you are now, that if you close your eyes and you still got that punch, you know. So I think this one's going to be really exciting. I think something crazy is going to happen in this one, and the co-main is definitely going to be probably the most fun fight to watch of the night.
Romero has stated he's going to knock out Isaac Cruz. Now, if he can somehow pull this off, how much would that send shockwaves throughout the 140-pound division?
That's the thing. When you talk about knocking out Isaac Cruz, the dude can take a punch. What are you going to knock him out with? You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think to that point, Rolly has a punch. We know that. But I think with Isaac, it's going to take more than one. And we'll see what happens. When your opponent takes your best shot, it makes you question a lot of things, you know, and it'll stop you from throwing that best shot again. That's the thing that Rolly cannot afford to do. He can't afford to release his best punch, Isaac take it, and then now he shies away from it, you know. He's got to keep letting that big shot go. And the thing for Rolly is he doesn't have to look for Isaac Cruz. A lot like Fundora, it's going to be right in the face of Sebastian, in front of the face of Tszyu. Isaac is going to be right in the face of Rolly Romero. So, you know, 2 exciting fights in the main and the co-main, and a really good undercard too.
Well, you got Erislandy Lara, who's back, 40 years of age, taking on Michael Zerafa. Zerafa representing Australia, 2 Australians fighting for world titles. That could be significant from a global standpoint when it comes to their boxing history.
Listen, I've touched Australian soil, I think 4 times now. And I think I took some blessings over there, man. These guys have been really letting go and letting loose and showing themselves well. Tszyu on top of all of that for Australia, but for Zerafa to come over here, and I just spoke with Nonito Donaire on my podcast, and he's saying, yo, I know we got to surprise the world, but we're not afraid of that. And more than anything, he's been working with Zerafa's mental. That's the thing we know about Lara. You can't outthink Lara. So stop thinking. Just go for it and go get it, So that's what Nonito said they did. They're not going into the ring to think. They're going into the ring to fight and win every single round. And he said they're prepared for a landslide victory, which I like because that means we're going to get somebody who's going to push Lara. A lot of times he sits back and he picks you apart and it becomes this dry fight. We need somebody that's going to really push Lara and bring the best out of him. And I know in Lara's last fight, he got a crazy knockout in the last one. So moving up to 160, we see that he's got power at 160. So, top to bottom, we got a really great card.
We got Julio Cesar Martinez, Angelino Cordova, flyweight. It's always very exciting. And talk about kicking off the card with a fight that is going to produce a lot of fireworks. And guys, let's just say they're going to need whoever's counting punches is going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I think this one it's not on the pay-per-view portion.
It is on the pay-per-view portion.
Okay, so this fight is on the pay-per-view portion, but that's one of those fights where I always like to say, if you're in a casino and you see a fight happening, that fight right there, Martinez and Cordova, that fight will make you stop and wonder what's going on. I need to watch this, and they could get you going and entice you to buy the entire card. So that one is one I think you should have took that off of the pay-per-view card and put it on the regular portion just so that people walking past bars, people walking in the casinos could see what's going on and it would entice them. That fight until it ends, it's going to be non-stop action-packed. That one's going to be fun.
I know you've been to Australia. You were there for Tszyu and Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza's back in action, taking on Sergey Bohachuk. With what you saw out of Brian Mendoza, now he's on the bounce-back fight mode against Sergey Bohachuk, who was supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora. Now enter Brian Mendoza. I think from a stylistic standpoint, it serves both men to their advantages.
Yeah, absolutely. Sergey is a come at you kind of guy, about 6 foot tall-ish. And he's got a punch. I think 23 knockouts, 23 wins, all of them by knockout. And then Brian, it's something that Tim didn't allow him to do. Brian is a thinker. Brian likes to set you up, and he likes to capitalize after he sets you up. So I think Sergey's definitely going to give him those opportunities to set some things up. And Sergey's going to come out there and give everybody what they want, an action-packed fight. So both these guys, stylistically, that's a really good matchup too.
You do an amazing job covering the sport on the PorterWay Podcast. What can fans expect during this fight week when they tune in or watch you on YouTube?
I always like to say, man, we give you the boxing with a different delivery. You know what I mean? We add some fun to it. We add some pizzazz to it. We've had some rappers on recently. We've had some comedians on recently. And that's what we just keep trying to pour out. Make sure that you understand that this boxing game, it's a sport, but it's a sport that's supposed to entertain. And so that's what the PorterWay Podcast we're trying to do, bring more entertainment to the sport of boxing.
Well, we're going to see if Tszyu can provide some entertainment to the fans here in Australia and here in Las Vegas and in Australia as well. Shawn, greatly appreciate the time, and we look forward to seeing all your coverage throughout the week.
Got it, man. We'll talk soon.
Showtime, Shawn Porter, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of that in-depth look, let's take a closer examination on what Tszyu is doing to prepare for battle. Coming up on Saturday, it is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for you. This.
Thanks, man.
Be back.
Good.
Major moments for the Australian World Champion.
I like challenges. I like things that get your heart beating, you know?
Don't forget to breathe, all right? How cool is that, brother?
That's sick.
I'm not satisfied. I'm still looking for that next thrill, the next big fight, the next adrenaline rush. It's a crazy, addictive feeling.
The undefeated super welterweight champion of the world, Tszyu.
I feel like I'm a lion chasing a gazelle. In a boxing fight, it's a different type of competitiveness. or you see the pain in their eyes, or you see a noise, their little squeak that they make. That's the stuff that drives me.
As a boxer, how important is activity? Because nowadays people won't fight once a year maybe. So.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Everyone these days, they're just a bunch of pussies. Especially in this sport now, they're just like, they're going downhill. There's more Twitter battles rather than boxing fights, and it's like, I'm the other way around. I'm a fighter, an old school throwback type thing, and I feel like, you know, the real boxing lovers will embrace that.
That is none other than Tszyu. He has been training very hard here in Las Vegas, getting ready for his showdown against now Sebastian Fundora. You heard me break it down with Shawn Porter, a 9-inch height advantage for Fundora, and for Fundora, a late replacement. Originally supposed to fight Sergey Boyachuk, now insert Sebastian Fundora. As we take a look at both men, you know that Tszyu is looking to pick up the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World as well. So 2 World Championships will be on the line. Tszyu defending his WBO Super Welterweight Championship against Sebastian Fundora. Meantime, for Fundora, he's in bounce-back mode. He came up short against Brian Mendoza in his last assignment, but now he has an opportunity to pick up not only 1 world title, but 2 world championships, and the winner of this fight certainly will put themselves in line in the driver's seat. Now for Tszyu, it's a couple of things that you got to look at. Not only is he fighting and also him headlining here in Las Vegas for the first time, but there has been talk from Terrence Crawford that he wants to come up here to 154, and you got to think about Tszyu believing, if I'm able to get past this guy in Sebastian Fundora, could that be a showdown later this year against Terrence Crawford? And that is a significant financial opportunity for Tszyu if he's able to beat Sebastian Fundora. Originally, Tszyu was supposed to collide against the former welterweight champion of the world in Keith Thurman. Thurman got hurt, so therefore you go ahead and you enter in none other than Sebastian Fundora. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're getting ready for our next fighter that is getting... So we go ahead and get ready to bring up a man who's very well known in the business, done a lot for Mayweather Promotions and has been the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. I believe he's around here somewhere. I want to bring up the esteemed Leonard Ellerbe, ladies and gentlemen. He knows what it's like to be involved in not just big events, but pay-per-view blockbuster events, ones that shatter records. Leonard, how many records does Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions have? The top 3, top 4 gate receipts all over the world?
6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's pretty. I would say that's there's a reason why Floyd's in the Hall of Fame, and you've been doing such a phenomenal job. But you are coming into Saturday night with the vested interest. You have Rolando Romero against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Rolly Romero, a polarizing figure in the sport. How much fun has he been to be able to go and sort of help guide his career?
He's a phenomenal young fighter. Really excited about this Saturday night. He has a big opportunity in front of him. And again, I expect him to handle his business, and I expect the fight to end in a knockout with Rolly knocking him out.
How much would that send shockwaves throughout the sport of boxing, Leonard?
Well, Rolly's coming in. He's the underdog in this fight, which I love that. I love that he's the underdog because all the pressure's on the other guy. And all he has to do is go in there and figure out a way to win a fight, and he's in a wonderful position.
With everything that you particularly have done in your career, when you're around this, does it ever get old?
Never. I love boxing. Eat, sleep, and drink it. Love it. Love it.
Now, with PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video for the first time, how big is this? I mean, we got a big main event, literally and figuratively, with a 9-inch height advantage for Fundora, but for boxing in general, being on Prime Video, how big is this?
It's a wonderful opportunity, not only for the PBC, but for the fans around the world. It's giving the fans a great opportunity to see what this is all about. And for the first event being on Amazon Prime with a tremendous platform, one of the biggest platforms in the entire world, I'm super excited.
When they came to you and they said, okay, Rolando Romero against Cesar Cruz co-main event, we all know that that could be a main event anywhere around the world. But, you know, in terms of your ability to say, you know what, absolutely co-main event, no problem, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Again, it's a tremendous card, really from top to bottom. And the fans are the winners in this because, again, from the opening bout to the main event, nothing but fireworks.
Well, how about this? Every fight on the pay-per-view is a world championship fight. Every single one of them, from flyweight all the way to 160.
And again, it's another great opportunity for the PBC, who puts on the biggest and best cards in the entire sport for the fans.
Now, for Romero, I believe I was watching an interview because I love consuming everything in boxing. Rolly seems to be very happy here at 140 because he's not cutting to 35. But I believe you said, I don't know when, but down the line, you could very well see a case where Rolly goes up to 147?
Yes, we actually have talked about that. But first things first. He has to take care of business this Saturday night, and that's all the focus is Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
For Isaac Cruz, I've seen, I don't know if you saw the photo that's circulating on social media of him, but he looks to be in the best shape possible that I've ever seen him. I mean, he's got a six-pack and everything, looks in incredible physical shape. Do you expect to see Isaac Cruz is going to try to set forth this incredible pace throughout the 12 rounds if it goes that long?
Of course, because he only fights one way. He comes forward. He's a very aggressive fighter, and Rolly just has to be able to control him, keep the distance, and handle the business.
Speaking of business, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about another man in Tank Davis. And, you know, there's a lot of people talking about what could be next for Tank. We've heard rumblings, but nothing official as of yet. Not necessarily giving away anything, but when was the last time you talked to Tank, and how is he doing? I mean, how's life been for the world champion?
Well, he's in camp right now, and he's spending a little time with his daughters. But he's just getting ready for his huge event he has coming up in a couple months, and he'll make the big announcement who, when, and where.
I'm sure he's very excited to be fighting here with PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video as well.
Yes, he is, because he knows this is a wonderful opportunity. In my opinion, he's the face of boxing, and it's another opportunity for him to go out there and showcase his skills.
Now, you also, I believe, I don't know if he's 17, 18 yet, but tell us about some of your youngsters that you have within the Mayweather Promotion stable.
Kermel Moulton, he'll be fighting also on the undercard of this fight, will actually be the walkout bout after the main event. So he's an exciting young fighter. He's one of the top prospects in the entire sport. We have quite a few, though, in Mayweather Promotions. Jaleel Hackett, Joseph Brown, just to name a few that really, really excite. They have big, bright futures ahead of them.
When you guys sign them and they are in training camp, because you love going to the gyms, and I know you pop into the gym and you go and watch them train. When they come to you and ask you, and they ask Floyd as well, like, what's it like under the lights? How much is that just so beneficial because you guys have been at the top level of the sport for many years and then some?
Well, yes, when they have been around the sport and when they turn pro, they've seen all the big events. And so they trust the process. They know that we've been in a position to take a young fighter to the top, like Tank, and excel. And with other veteran fighters, we've been able to do that too. So this is a wonderful time now for the young fighters in the sport. And again, I'm just really excited what lies ahead.
You know what else I'm excited about is you are a fun follow on social media. I love how bold you are when it comes to your predictions and everything else. I'm like, man, oh man, very entertaining, I'm sure. And I know you get fight fans riled up one way or another when it comes to social media.
I love being able to interact with the fans. That's what it's all about. You know, when I have a little free time, you know, I'll go back and forth with them sometime. But I really enjoy it, though.
We enjoy your expertise, Leonard. Always a pleasure. Good luck to Rolly on Saturday.
Thank you, Ray.
Leonard Ellerbe, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. He has been involved in blockbuster events. Right now, we are going to take more of an in-depth look at Leonard Ellerbe, the man that he helps to guide in Rolando Rolly Romero in the Gloves Off series.
Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles. Brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening.
What's up, everybody? I had to sneak away for a quick interview with Fox Australia. And hopefully, I'll be doing some work with Fox Australia this weekend. As you guys know, I didn't get picked up to do work with Prime on this one. So, you know me, on to the next. And always trying to do things bigger and better. So we'll see if we're able to get something with Fox Australia this weekend. And Michael, yeah. And if you guys are able to hear me, I will let you know just where to find me, and hopefully we can get that done. All that being said, we got Leonard Ellerbe right here in front of me. try to get this young titan, if you will, on the podcast just as soon as he's done with
All
this
right,
interview.
ladies and gentlemen, let's meet this man's
And we got
adversary. With the
Isak
record of
Cruz coming to
45
the
wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Having most recently defeated Brenagh back in July. He is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, please
but it's
welcome
TPWP.
from Mexico City,
Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. All right, Isak's getting in the ring. This man is not about to train, but let's have a listen.
Mexico City. Isak, you get another opportunity at a world title. This one
140 pounds. What does this mean to you?
Bueno, ¿qué significa para ti tener esta oportunidad en las 140 libras de pelear por el título por primera vez?
Es una emoción muy grande y muy contento por esa segunda oportunidad y venimos a aprovecharla y a darle una gran pelea a toda la gente.
It's a big second chance, a very important second chance. I came to give the people what they want, a great fight, and I want to come out on top.
Rolando Romero has stated he's going to knock you out. How do you respond to that?
Rolando Romero ha dicho que te quiere noquear, que te va a noquear. ¿Cómo le respondes a eso?
Está bien, yo vengo preparado, no voy a subir amarrado de las manos y vengo muy preparado para también venirlo a noquear a él.
Don't worry, I'm not going to come out with my hands tied. I'm going to be ready for whatever he wants to do.
One thing that people are wondering is how are you going to handle this new weight class? You're going up to 140, but what has that transition been like? How has camp been like knowing that you don't have to make the 135-pound limit?
¿Cómo ha sido la transición a una nueva división, un peso que es superior al 135? ¿Cómo te has sentido en esa transición a un nuevo peso? Viral. ¿Se podría decir que estás en la mejor forma física de tu vida actualmente?
Sí, totalmente. Ahora sí que se hizo un buen trabajo con el equipo de trabajo en Ciudad de México, con el preparador, mi papá, el equipo de trabajo, y esta ha sido una de las mejores, o si no es la mejor de toda la carrera.
Absolutely. You could say that perhaps this has been the best training camp of my career, and that's all due to the work that I put in with my dad and the whole staff that has been here supporting me all the way.
Now, because this is such a massive opportunity for you, your second go-around, do you feel any additional pressure to go ahead and really go out there and put forth a definitive performance to leave no doubt in the eyes of the judges?
Esta es una gran oportunidad para vos. La segunda oportunidad, ¿sentís más presión de salir y noquear, de no depender de los jueces?
No, de ninguna manera. Yo no trabajo bajo presión, yo trabajo en lo que estuvimos haciendo en el campamento y esta noche nos venimos a consagrar y a coronar como campeones del mundo.
I don't work under pressure. Pressure means nothing to me. I work based on the fundamentals that I have ever since we started training camp. I came here to be a world champion, period.
Finally, what do you want to say to all the fans that are watching around the world and here in Las Vegas?
Por último, ¿qué te gustaría decirle a la gente que te está viendo en Las Vegas y alrededor del mundo? ¿Qué mensaje les das?
Que el próximo sábado 30 de marzo nos vamos a coronar como campeones del mundo y que yo de mi parte les vengo a dar una gran pelea y que toda la gente sea la ganadora.
We're going to give you a great fight on Saturday, March 30th. I'm going to be a world champion, and the true winners of the night are going to be the fans that are right here.
Ladies and gentlemen from Mexico City, Isak Pitbull Cruz. And And Isaac Pitbull Cruz going to work out for all of you ahead of his showdown against Rolando Romero. It is the co-main event of PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. It comes your way at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Tickets are available at AXS.com, or you can watch PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Isaac Cruz, Rolando Romero for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World.
Let's do it after I do this interview. I want to do. I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you.
Yeah, no, come on.
I didn't even ask you.
You ain't got to.
All right.
You ain't got to. 1 second. We on PorterWay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you did. You did. You showed me that the other day. I don't be giving out my numbers. Everybody got my public phone.
Got it.
My God. Oh, it's no doubt. Like I said, they talking about negotiating, fighting Terrence, and that's a no in my opinion. Who?
Yeah.
They having conversations. That's disrespectful. Any way you look at it. What happened Saturday night is like you're kind of overlooking the guy that's in front of you.
Well, yeah, you can't overlook the guy in front of you, but everybody, I think, you're getting him to becoming a super. He's a superstar in his country.
Yeah.
You're getting him to become a superstar internationally, and now you're trying to rush him.
Yeah.
And you're gonna rush into a wall.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Terrence Crawford is a different breed.
Yeah.
He's a different breed.
Did you ever have thoughts of looking at him to sign him or anything like that? Terrence.
Yeah, Floyd has had conversations about that.
What about coming out of the amateurs?
No.
I'm not sure TMT was what it was.
Yeah.
Once we first came out, that was 08.
Because we had just formed the company in 07.
Yeah. So it was a little premature to sign us.
Right.
These glasses, man, them diamonds real.
Of course.
I couldn't let it go. But you don't have anybody on this card, do you?
Rolly.
Oh, you got Rolly on this card. Do you go to the gym and watch Rolly train?
Yes, I have. Been probably about 4 or 5 times.
The big switch. He's with Salas
now.
And so, I not knowing much about Bullet, knowing a lot about Salas, I personally feel like it's a big move, especially where I know Salas, where all of his success lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to, and I want you to speak to this. But when I look at a Salas and Rolly team, I look at Salas being able to give Rolly something he truly never had, which is fundamental and technique.
And Shawn, that's a great point you're making, because that's something they went back to in this camp. And I've been very, very impressed.
Yeah.
Very, very impressed.
When it comes to the X's and O's, something we didn't know Rolly had, he showed it to us against Tank.
Yeah.
Showed us that he really had a game plan.
Yes, he
did. Which I think, because of Rolly's personality, he's just like, that kid can't game plan. Like, it's get me or I get you.
Right.
And I think we bought into the fact that he can't game plan.
Yes.
What do you think about the game plan coming into a fight against somebody like Isaac Cruz?
They have a tremendous game plan.
Yeah.
Again, Pitbull Cruz, he's a very aggressive fighter. You don't have to figure out where he's going to be. He's going to be right in your face. But Rolly's got to find a way to break his will. He shouldn't be able just to run up in there on him. And he's understanding that he's got to be able to utilize certain things he hadn't been doing in the past. And I think that's when Salas comes into play with, working on some things and, discourage him to run up in there.
Absolutely. That's game plan right there. And execution.
Yes.
I just had a thought and I lost it. But when it comes to Rolly, oh yes, in the last fight that he had with Barossa, didn't think that fight deserved to be stopped at the moment that it was stopped. I felt like there were a couple of moments when Rolly was a little shook up off of his feet, for the sake of words. Personally, I feel like he's been out of the ring too long. Kind of talk to us about where he was then as opposed to where he is now.
Yeah, well, again, going through something like that, I don't even think it makes you better, because you just have to get back to the basics on kind of, something he's gotten away from for a long time. And I think that this matchup, Pitbull Cruz, is, to me, tailor-made for him, because you don't have to chase him around the ring. He's going to be right there. So you got to find a way to win the fight. And when Rolly wins on Saturday night, he's in a wonderful position. He's the guy at 40, meaning the most sought-after guy because of his past. Everyone, they say they're licking their chops to get him in the ring. He's a world champ. But again, being at the forefront, the top of your vision, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, when
he got to figure out a way to win this fight Saturday night.
He beats Isaac Cruz. That's a big win for him. And at 140, you retain your title.
Yeah.
I don't care about Isaac coming up from 135. Talk to us though about Rolly at 140. Is he a different fighter at 140 than opposed to 135? I mean, and on top of the fact that he's with Silas.
Yeah, no, it's a big difference, because I know that in the past, he's walked around really, really heavy, which I discouraged him from doing that. He's back to being more disciplined now at 40. He's very comfortable with the weight. He's been around the weight for probably about a week now.
It's great.
Yeah, and he's feeling good, so he's not struggling to make the weight. So I'm really excited about Saturday night. He should be really strong.
Can you give us a little hint, a little taste of what could be next for Rolly outside of this Isaac fight? He wins this fight. What you talking about unifying, or you talking about, hey, staying at home with PBC and making the big fight happen over there?
All we think about Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's all we think about Saturday night, because the sky's the limit. When he wins on Saturday night, again, he's at the forefront of every conversation with being world champion. And having a big win over a terrific fighter in Pitbull Cruz.
Since I got you, let's talk Tank Davis and excuse me, I'm losing his name. His opponent. I hate to call him an opponent. From down from Dallas. I'm losing his name. Who's Tank getting in the ring with me?
He's going to announce who's
I thought it was announced.
No.
Frank Martin. I thought it was announced.
What do I think about Frank Martin? He's a very good fighter.
No, I don't want to know what you think about Frank Martin. I thought the fight was announced.
No, Tank ain't announced nothing.
Well, social media be doing it.
Tank Davis is going to announce who he fights, when, and where.
Well, then let's talk hypothetically.
Hypothetically, let's talk about that. Then.
Let's talk about what you think about Frank Martin as a fighter.
Terrific fighter.
Yeah.
Terrific fighter. Very athletic, very slick. He's really, really improved a lot under Derek James. Good young fighter. You can't beat Tank, though.
Can't beat Tank.
Not
enough of what?
Not enough of anything. He's a very good fighter, though. He's very good, because Tank can adapt to anything. But in a situation, hypothetically, with those two, that Tank is superior in every facet. The IQ, everything. Everything.
I've seen it.
I've
seen it firsthand.
Right.
Last thing, and I'll let you go. What's next for TMT? Obviously, you got the home with Prime and PBC, but what's next for you and TMT? What promotions we can look for?
We have a ton of young fighters, young prospects that we looking to continue to move. I'm working on a card now. In the next month and a half, we'll put all the guys on the card. So really excited. I got some top tier young talent. Carmel Moulton, he's fighting on this card. He's fighting in the walkout bout after the main. And we designed that.
I know.
People, I don't want you coming and fighting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's 40 people in there.
Y'all don't think about the fighter though. We just be wanting to get it over with.
But he don't mind, and I want him to get used to fighting in front of bigger
Absolutely.
crowds, and that's how you adjust.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So smart, especially with Carmel. You guys gonna fast track him?
Yes.
Cause is he 17?
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 17. Sean, some guys, are special. You know this firsthand. And it's like, we're not going to rush him.
Yeah.
Things will just happen. They'll progress. It's like he's fighting a 7-0 guy now on Saturday night. Again, it's just, he's boxed just about everybody around his way, and he's not afraid to get in there with anybody. And he works well with the top guys out there in the world.
Yeah.
And so just really excited, and you just see he has a lot of momentum going. He's a hard worker, and he's been at this for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
We met the kid when he was 7 years old.
Yeah, right.
I think, before he even started competing. So, yeah, man. All in all, man, happy to have you on the podcast as always.
Thank you, man. My God.
We'll
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. There you go. Leonard Ellerbe. We're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you, sir. Yep. I want them glasses. I don't even wear sunglasses. I want them glasses. I got diamonds everywhere. We got Sebastian Fundora getting in the ring. A couple more guys. However, I got to get Ghost. And already got Ghost. So we're going to wrap it up right here. We'll let it roll a little bit while Sebastian gets in the ring and does his thing. And then we'll cap it right there. Catch us back here live for the final press conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Live right here on the PorterWay Podcast. And as always, I appreciate you guys for your support. Sign up for our Patreon. I know I made this announcement if you guys saw this week's episode. We got an episode coming with Shakur Stevenson live on the PorterWay Podcast Patreon. So make sure you guys subscribe to our Patreon so that you guys can check that episode out. Not this weekend, next weekend. And there you have it. We got Sebastian, then we'll wrap it.
In terms of you in this, Tszyu, you're going to have a 9-inch height advantage, the largest height difference in a non-heavyweight championship fight. What does that mean to you?
That's just an everyday thing for me. I'm always taller than everybody, so this is just another day of work.
In terms of preparation, what was it like being able to go from Bohachuk to now Tszyu?
They're both similar, Bohachuk being a little bit taller, of course, but other than that, we have a pressure, hard-hitter, orthodox fighter in Tszyu, the same with Bohachuk.
Does it make any difference? I mean, you've been in main events before, but now T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, does it have any extra added meaning to you?
This is a big fight. This is the first for Amazon Prime Video working with PBC, so this is going to be the opener for boxing of the future. This is a streaming platform as well, so this is very big. T-Mobile, Las Vegas, the fighting capital of the world. This is where I stamp the start of my legacy.
The last fight that you had did not go your way. How much did you learn from that?
More of a learning experience. It was a reminder. You cannot play this sport. You cannot make mistakes, and if you do, you pay for it.
Do you believe that there's going to be at some point where you guys are going to be standing in the center of this ring and just go toe-to-toe at T-Mobile Arena?
Of course. This is a unified fight at 154. This is the best fight at 154. This is going to crown the new king of 154.
Now, there has been talk that Terrence Crawford, from what we hear with the WBO, has been, the #1 mandatory at 154 if he wants to come up to this weight class. That would mean if Tszyu is victorious, then he might be in line to fight Terrence Crawford. Do you think that he could be overlooking you?
Of course, I don't really care what Tszyu does. I'm focused on this fight right here. This is how I become a world champion.
What would it mean for you to realize a lifelong dream? Your sister's a world champion, but to go ahead and be a world champion, and when you hear "and the new"?
This is a dream come true. The fact that I'm fighting on a stage like this, and an event like this is pay-per-view, main event in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, this is a dream come true.
What does your father and your entire family mean to you? Your father, obviously, your trainer, and he will be leading you in a battle on Saturday.
This is big. My father got his first world champion with my sister 6 months ago. We're going to do it again this Saturday. He's going to be coach of the year, in my eyes, of course.
And also your promoter, Samson Lukowicz, how much of him being such a guiding factor in your career?
He's been telling me over and over again, when we become world champion, that's what's going to get him the Hall of Fame. This Saturday, get ready, Samson, because you're going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Samson, when you hear that he's going to stamp your induction into the Hall of Fame, what's your response?
Well, listen, I'm so happy, and Sebastian Fundora, as his family, is my family. We're going to my kitchen, and I go to his kitchen, so we have a special relation, and I'm so happy for this opportunity. By the way, he said that it took him 2 seconds to take the fight. It's not true. It took 1 second.
1 second. Sebastian will allow you to work out finally. What can all the fans expect on Saturday when you collide against Tszyu?
March 30th, tune in. It's going to be a great fight. We're going to have another Fundora crowned as champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora working out here in Las Vegas ahead of his